Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Mission Employable Podcast. We're talking about all things employment in Iowa. Again, October is Disability Employment Awareness Month, and we're back with another episode about the success that employers can have when they hire from this talent pool. And we're also going to talk about a really cool program run by Iowa Vocational Rehabilitation that helps employers find this talent. Kathy Leggett is here with me today. Kathy, our first episode in this series was great. I'm excited for this one.
Yes, me too. More great information to share with everybody.
Absolutely. Which brings us to our guest, Tami Jewell from Iowa State University Surplus. They take surplus supplies from the college and find new homes for them, either through sale, auction, recycling. Tami, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, first of all, I gave a little bit of an overview, but please tell us a little bit about your role at Iowa State Surplus program, what you guys do there and all that good stuff.
Sure. I've been there. Well, I've been helping Iowa State Surplus for about 10 years and then finally got on there full time 3 years ago. I'd worked previously under our full department called Logistics and Support Services, which handles all the moving parts of the university.
Yeah.
But anyway, Surplus is, like you said, we repurpose materials, items from the university, whether it's from residents, athletics, office space, you name it, we've got it. Besides that, the lost and found. And even like the Iowa School of Braille, we get things from all over the state of Iowa. The whole purpose is to recycle, repurpose, and avoid the landfills.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go green a little bit. So,
Definitely.
That's so cool. And something that I've never heard of, I have to admit.
Yeah.
So, wow.
Funny enough, my college, when I went to University of Maryland, had something similar.
Mm-hmm.
And God, man, you could go online and you could find like team exclusive shoes from the basketball team that they were selling.
Yeah.
Oh my
And if you were
gosh.
lucky enough and had size 15 feet, you could get a pair of like official Maryland basketball sneakers, which was pretty cool. And like, it's all kinds of stuff.
Well,
It is.
it'd have to be, and just even thinking about it, like the magnitude of what you deal with, and something has to happen, right, with all of that. So,
Yes, it's unbelievable. The
Oh,
amount of- It's
wow.
never ending.
Yeah.
yes.
Now, obviously, that takes staff members to make that happen. And one of the reasons we brought you here today is that October is Disability Employment Awareness Month, and you partner with Iowa Voc Rehab and a program called Project Search to bring Iowans with disabilities to work. So tell us a little bit about that and kind of your experience.
Wow. Project Search, I started about 5 years ago working with them when I was previously at Central Stores, which is affiliated with Surplus, and did mainly office work and then some warehouse work with some of the students. And typically the students that I had were high functioning with autism. And then this recently, I had the wonderful opportunity to work with a young lady that has Down syndrome. And that was a whole different experience. But all the experiences are wonderful, and it's amazing at what Project Search does and the opportunities they give these young people.
Can you tell us a little bit about, like, for you as the employer, so to speak, or how does the process work? Or do you just get
The Project Search program
Yeah.
themselves, that they have an instructor, and that instructor works with these whatever group of students she has. It can be from 8 to 10. I think they've had 12 at one time, which is a lot. And then they work with them on just skills and manners and appearance and
just all those
kinds of
employability things
Yes.
are
before they
important
even
to know.
before they even get to work with the departments within the university.
Okay.
And then she looks at all the departments in the university, looks at the interns, and decides maybe where they'd be the best fit.
Okay, great.
Yeah. And the cool thing is that Iowa Voc Rehab funds that program.
Okay.
And so they help pay for the teacher's salary, and that instructor then, like you said, helps them navigate from the ISU bus system.
Yep.
Like you mentioned, kind of the soft skills, those kinds of things.
And they don't, and you aren't recruiting, like they're coming with students like who are interested, and then they work with you to get a fit if there's a fit in your area.
They do, and they even set up an interview. So I actually interview the intern. I've always interviewed the interns, and
That's
99%
great.
have always taken them. But, every once in a
Yeah.
while there's something that
Sure.
just isn't going to be a good fit for what we do physically
Mhm.
for that intern, and that happened just once with me.
Yeah.
But
How does it make it easier for you guys when they're already coming in with, this coaching and the soft skills?
Oh, way easier. I mean, there's a lot of things that you don't have to worry about. And the other thing is the instructor is always there if you have questions that arise or you have any troubles or anything. And then they work with that intern offsite to help correct any issues there may be,
That's
which
great.
has been minimal, but
Yeah, but it does. That's like a win-win. I mean,
It
it's
is.
really great. Now it's internship. So is it a limited amount of time, the
Yes.
program, and how long does that run? Do you know?
they typically run 3 internships
Okay.
during the school year,
Okay.
the Iowa State school year. So from fall to spring semester. The spring semester being the longest internship. So there's the fall and then a winter and then a spring.
Yeah. And the goal, of course, is then to get to some sort of full-time employment. And
Yes.
you guys have had a great success story with that, which is the
Yeah.
other reason why we brought you
Yeah.
on here today.
Yeah.
So please tell us about that.
Well, as I said, I've typically had young people and actually I have 2 success stories. The previous student that I had, I could see that he'd be a good fit in a warehouse setting, and he worked with us, and now he currently works at Menards and is very happily employed and doing great.
It's just
And
what we
still
want. Love
comes
to
to-
see it.
Still
Yeah.
comes to visit us every
Oh.
once in a while, and that's the first one. The second one is the young lady, Emily, who has Down syndrome, who's just fantastic. It's a whole different experience working with Emily. But she just was a great fit to the point where then I asked the instructor, can I have her because they were going to have her kind of half time, can I have her some more? So I kind of extended it a bit, and then she went on to dining for her last one, as she should try to experience everything. And then I was lucky enough to be able to hire her as a temporary employee. So
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes. So you said it's kind of a different experience working with her. Can you like what we've heard a lot of times from employers who have had success hiring Iowans with disabilities is that they can almost change the culture sometimes, or there's just so many fabulous things. So is there anything in particular?
Well, I mean, just overall, any of those interns, they are so different from other employees. They always come in with a positive attitude and a smile. There's the number one thing. And they really, truly do. They're happy to be there. They want to work. And it does change the environment. Because before we introduced Project Search in my previous spot, there were some people not so understanding or thinking that this might be a good idea. And it was the funnest part was to watch how they changed over the time, over the
Wow.
weeks. They completely changed.
So
And there
awesome.
would ask, where's the intern? You know, whoever we had. So
That is amazing.
Yeah. And it's so cool. And something we hear quite a bit is that it's not about what you can't do. It's what you can do.
Mhm.
And I think that these folks can do a lot and probably more than a lot of people give them credit for.
Yeah, and back to even Emily, she just kept excelling and doing more things than beyond my expectations is what she was doing. I mean, I had her scan on the copier, and she did it faster and quicker than any ISU student I ever had to. Like I said, we have a public sale every Wednesday. And my whole goal, and I told the Carla at the IVRS that my whole goal was to get Emily to be able to clerk on her own, which she's pretty much doing in the afternoon when it's a little quieter.
Mhm.
She sits at the stand, and they bring tags, and she checks them out.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
she does great.
What do you think other employers need to know about hiring Iowans with disabilities? Anything from like accommodations to how to interact with them, like
Interact just how you would with anyone else.
Yeah.
I've had to have discussions even with my students and some other staff because they're like, well, I don't want to make them cry. I don't want to hurt their. Treat them like you would anyone else. You
Yeah.
don't want to make me cry, do you? I mean,
Right.
how would it be any different?
Yeah.
And we talked
Yeah.
about something
Yes.
in the previous episode that IVRS is here to come into some of these places of employment and help with that kind of training,
Mhm.
and that's another service that IVRS provides. And then as far as like accommodations go, I think sometimes employers hear that word and they kind of get a little scared of it. And the fact of the matter is that a lot of these accommodations, if they're needed at all,
Mhm.
are real simple to implement.
I think we have accommodations for everyone that works with us. I
Right.
mean,
Point.
everybody has their own kind of special needs
Mhm.
in their own ways.
Great
I
point.
make accommodations with every. I do the timekeeping for our department, and I have to do that for several people who need help.
For multiple different reasons,
Yes,
right?
Yeah,
Yes.
no
Yeah.
specific. So I don't know. That's hard because I don't think there's any necessarily huge special accommodations that we've had to make for
Yeah.
Yeah.
any of the students. I mean, you just kind of have to be a little more aware or a little more sensitive. You would hope people would be, or watch how they talk, or
Well, I think so. What I hear you saying, which I think is a really important message for employers to hear, is, some of those things that you may think are, ooh, I don't want to go there. I'm just not sure I want to open that door. I don't want, because it feels like it might be too much, is really worth exploring because it's not as probably as much as you think, and you can reap great benefits.
You do reap great benefits. It's huge for morale and team building for everyone that works in your area.
And you're giving another Iowan purpose through work, because I talked about that before. I just think for people, work it provides purpose. I've seen people who have struggled to not be able to obtain consistent employment because of, this reason or that. And it's a really difficult situation to be in time over time. And so I just think it's great because there's so many benefits all the way around.
There is.
Yeah. And the one thing that I also wanted to ask a little bit about is just how it makes you feel to be able to see these folks come in, excel, go on to other employment, like your previous story, and he's coming back to visit. How does it make you feel?
Well, it makes you feel great. I mean, it gives you purpose even yourself to go to work. Right. I mean, the days Emily doesn't work every day, and the days she's not there, I'm just a tad bit sad, and I'm like, oh, it's an Emily day.
Wow. Yes. That's
so
fantastic.
It even gives me a different renewed purpose and
so many good things. So do you know, did your organization reach out to IVRS, or how did you get connected with Project Search? Because that's something I want us to talk about too, just so those who might be interested could maybe make an outreach.
Yeah, well, Project Search is, specifically they're working with the university now.
Okay.
And they actually have been doing it for about 5 years, and they had a hard time finding some departments. So my previous supervisor kind of reached out. He goes, Tami, would you be willing to do this? And I said, of course. He must have known my type of personality that I'd be open to that. And there was other people that weren't, but I fought that, and it worked, and been doing it ever since. Now, when we first started, there wasn't very many departments. Now, I have to almost beg to get an intern, because it's becoming very popular. All the departments want in on this. They think it's wonderful.
Great opportunity.
Yeah. Wonderful opportunity. And if there's any people who want to, reach out to you or see about, potentially working at ISU Surplus, or maybe you can connect them to one of the departments, how's the best way for them to reach out to you?
Well, to reach out to me personally, just go through the ISU Surplus website. We have an ISU Surplus email there. You just go to the Iowa State homepage, look up ISU Surplus, and then you can find that link. Great. And go to that website, and we have the email, and you can contact us through there.
It's wonderful.
And I am usually the one checking a lot of those emails. So.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much. We learned so much about Iowa State University Surplus, which is, something that, like I said, I'd never known about. But also you shared so many great aspects about the Project Search program and the experiences you have had. And then also thanks for your contribution to being willing to open the doors and help out some Iowans with disabilities get their start. So thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, you bet.